This week I'm talking with people, just like you, about the 2008 election, specifically about their view on the life issues and the role it plays in how they vote. Shirley, do you think euthanasia is one of the life issues?
Yes, I do. We don't hear about it a lot in the media because the abortion issue is obviously something that is more pervasive in our society. But it is a life issue because it goes back to the argument that that what makes us worthy is not what we can contribute to society or how intelligent we are. It's the fact that we are human beings, that we are breathing, we are alive. And with euthanasia, the mentality with euthanasia is that, well, you may still be breathing, but because you are no longer contributing to society and because you are a burden to society, we're just going to kill you, basically. And that's not right.
Dolores, how about you? How do you think the next president could make life difficult or impossible for you as regard to euthanasia?
By another Roe versus Wade for euthanasia. I mean, if it becomes law of the land that you can kill those who are mentally impaired or old, then that's the price we'll have to pay.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that's a real threat?
I do. When Roe versus Wade became law, people said, you know, this is the beginning. Now watch euthanasia come. And people said, oh, you got to be crazy. We're not going to kill people. Euthanasia. We have assisted suicide. We had to send a doctor to jail who helped a lot of people kill themselves, who, if they had been given love and encouragement, they might not have done that.
So in your opinion, how do you think the next president will impact the abortion issue in America?
I think the biggest impact is obviously there's a couple of justices on the Supreme Court who are getting older, and I think we could see some retirements, and putting justices on the Supreme Court that will acknowledge the dignity of the human person and realize that they are not called to act as judicial fiats in this country is really important. And I think the next president will probably be making a couple of judicial nominations. So I think that's the biggest impact they're going to have on the debate.
Where do you think we're headed as a nation?
Well, it looks like we're headed to socialism. We've got candidates that are, well, one in particular is going to take care of everybody, which is a real bad thing. Any government, I think it was Thomas Jefferson said that any government that can supply you with everything you need can take everything you have. And people are just turning their lives over to the government. That's what's going to happen.
In the vein of life issues, where do you see the nation headed?
I see the nation turning away from God. We're losing respect for all life. We need to take a good look at where we are.
In the years after abortion was legalized, the number of abortions increased to its peak. Then, during the 80s, abortion was on a steady decline. And according to the Alan Guttmacher Institute, it's been on a decline ever since. However, abortion is still considered the #1 surgical procedure performed in the United States. And 1.2 million unborn babies are aborted each year. What happens if a pro-abortion president is elected?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that if a pro-abortion president is elected, we'll likely see abortions in the United States, increase again. For over the last decade, we've seen abortions in the United States steadily decline. But right now, with a pro-abortion Senate and a pro-abortion House of Representatives, we'll likely see new legislation and passed and signed by a pro-abortion president that would undo the partial birth abortion ban, and perhaps even begin funding, using our tax dollars to pay for abortions. I think it'd be disastrous.
How important is the issue of abortion in this election?
Apparently it's not coming up as we had hoped it would. I mean, because there's a big difference between the two candidates. And this would carry over into the Supreme Court nominations and the whole tenure of the country. The president, although he has balance with the Congress and the Senate, which is designed to be, he still sets the tone.
Coming up next, Do you feel that your vote is important in the election?